From here, we'll be getting a bird's-eye view of the finest award-winning FMV, Onimusha.
Alex lands herself an interview with Adrian Smith from the Tomb Raider team and finds out what's what with Next Gen.
And Emily plays the impressive and soon-to-be-released Project Eden.
But first, here's Booth with the wheelie cool Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX! I'm right behind ya!
Street life is the only life I know. Well, like the song, games too have been celebrating urban street culture since youths and arcades got it together back in the 80s. Jet Set Radio did it for graffiti and rollerblading, Tony Hawk's did it for skateboarding, and now Matt Hoffman wants a slice of the action with the very latest bike mode, as he now stars in his own game, Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX. Speaking of old Tony Hawk's, Matt Hoffman uses the engine from the original Tony Hawk's game. And as you may imagine, the result is pretty much a BMX version of the immensely successful skateboard sim. Fans of Dave Mirra will be pleased to see that this game runs much faster than its rival, but then it is based on Tony Hawk's. For this reason, it has exactly the same controls and the same pick-up and play feel to it. Question is, what does this game do to make bike simulation any greater than skateboarding? Well, the answer is nothing, really. It definitely does create the feeling you're on a bike, and fans of Tony Hawk's will probably love it, because it looks and feels the same, but with slightly different mechanics and environments. Obviously, with the added element of handlebars, there's definitely some kick-ass tricks to be had. Once you've got enough air behind you, pulling off wicked little showstoppers like the Superman is no hard feat. And a flick of the shoulder buttons will give you a nice little rocket queen or toadstool or tail whip number. When it comes to toothpick and fakie grinds, balance and manoeuvre, all very well handled. While an improvement in the graphics would be nice, there are some cool looking parks to ride around. The only competitive element is when you play two-player, and here an excellent graffiti mode is offered up to all the stoners who've played the game to death and reckon they can out-trick their opponent. Wherever you pull off a trick will be marked your tag colour. If you can do a better stunt in the same place as your opponent, you replace their tag with your own till you paint the whole park your particular shade of ego. Cool. Matt Hoffman's Pro BMX is a sexy little game if you're piss poor with all the other kids on the block, and it's coming out for your Game Boy Colors and PlayStations in May. But if you really want to bail out in style, there's only one way to go.
If you're hungry for more extreme sport than Matt Hoffman can offer, there's hope! And you don't need to jump out of an airplane to get it! Oh! Here for your couch potato pleasure is our selection of top 5 big air moments!
Tony Hawk, the man, the myth, the dude with the wheels attached to his feet, and the only guy who's ever been able to spin around 900 degrees in the air without landing on his noggin. He takes to the skies most triumphantly in this acclaim-worthy skateboarding sim. Fly high, little birdie. The trick is to never look down, apparently.
You're speeding along at a couple of 100 miles an hour in your futuristic hover vehicle. The last thing you need is a gaping crevice looming up ahead. Oh well, too bad. You're playing Wipeout. What can you expect? Clear it or die.
Whoa! If you prefer a little powder to concrete under your nose, then have a gander at the spectacular SSX on the PlayStation 2. Not only is this the most stylish snowboarding game to date, but you are rewarded for hazardous behavior. Chuck yourself off ice cliffs and ride it, baby. Take your wings out and fly.
But if all this newfangled colour is straining your smarting eyes, take a trip back to the beige bliss of Driver. Recreate your favourite Blues Brothers moment and trash the Rozzers at the same time. Fresh.
Most car games just give you the chance to catch the air on some grey track or other. Underrated Chaos Monger Twisted Metal World Tour went 10 steps better by letting you zoom across the rooftops of Paris. And of course, diving headfirst off the Eiffel Tower. A baguette bashing bonanza of big air madness.
Wait, there's one more. How can we not celebrate the big air of our cheeky little amigo Abe? He's been at the beans again. There's nothing more amusing to these emoticons than a little flatulence.
Do shut up, Alex.
What? Next, Boof and Emily have some pornographic news.
If you find the idea of hanging around a bus stop for 10 minutes unbearable in real life, then why would you want to do it in a video game?
Well, that's the question millions of Shenmue players pose to Yu Suzuki, creator of the groundbreaking role-playing game on the Dreamcast. But for his next offering, cleverly titled Shenmue 2, you won't have to.
Hallelujah! No more hanging around virtual bars wanting a real pint. No more wasting time in video arcade halls. No more being a dodgy, lurking bastard in parks. Now you'll have the option to time travel and skip across those more dull moments in game.
Which should pack more doing and less boring into the next set of 3 desks.
More on this one as it arises.
But now, lock up the children and hide the elderly in their cupboards, because more interactive porn is about to hit our home computing systems. Bits.
It may have all started out with Sam Fox unveiling herself on the Commodore 64 in strip poker.
Things might have got a bit more real-time with the PC-based adventures of Leisure Suit Larry.
And smut might have gone up a notch when Lula Virtual Babe came onto the shelves in 1998. But now it's time for some new nips. Tips from the Daily Sport.
Proving that they're painfully aware of their target audience, Virgin Interactive along with Swing Entertainment are about to release a football quiz game with a few unhidden extras.
Correctly answer the general knowledge questions and one of 4 buxom bimbets will get their kits off faster than you can say.
Something for the weekend, sir.
He shoots. Ooh, he scores.
It should be on the top shelves in time for Father's Day, though anyone over the age of 15 can get their hands dirty with this one.
So, chuck out those sticky Panty Raider boxes, because there are some new girls in town.
And finally, if your idea of entertainment is just as brainless but features animal antics, then get your fingers twitching, because the original David Attenborough song-along, Parappa the Rapper 3, is about to hit the PlayStation 2.
The little hip-hop, badly drawn dog is a big favourite around the Bits camp. He and his little Lemmuses, Lemmy, rapped and guitared their way into our hearts with simplistic gameplay, Simon Says action, and ridiculous but unforgettable lyrics.
We'll be looking forward to this next incarnation of Chop Chop Master Onion with bated breath. Ooh. But how this is going to utilise the super brain power of the next generation console is still in the air.
Chop, chop, master, I think you'll find. Here's a gamble on a game that's definitely taking full advantage of the console's ubermelon.
This week's FMV is Onimusha from Capcom, creators of pant stains across the nation thanks to their Resident Evil and Dino Crisis series. So what do they have on offer next?
In a world of darkness and magic, power-hungry warlords battle for the control of feudal Japan. One swordsman stands alone.
Well, it's another cheesy plot then.
But this time it's based on fact, with a little magic chucked in.
It's Resi meets Shogun Total War. Onimusha Warriors is the most expensive game Capcom has ever produced. For us movie junkies of the early 21st century, we're asking for enhanced cinematics in our games. This baby beat out The Matrix and Perfect Storm in scooping the Seagraphs Award for special effects.
They're not kidding around here. The game's look is based on acclaimed director Akira Kurosawa's distinctive style, and they've even enlisted the Japanese Philharmonic Orchestra. We look forward to it arriving on these shores very soon.
But In the meantime, we'd like to take this opportunity to say we're listening to you, man.
Yes, we've been sifting through the competition answers, sorting out the bright from the shite.
And this week we've got a whole load of poo in response to our scatologically obsessed competition question from a couple of weeks back.
We wanted you to squeeze out your ideas and tell us which game's character spent the most time on the shitter.
And boy, are you guys full of it.
Yeah, here's one from some numbnut.
I think Dizzy would need the shit seat the most for vomiting as well as taking a dump. Surely spinning around all day isn't going to be good for your insides. Methinks he might be a scrambled egg. Did you see what I did? Dizzy, an egg, scrambled. I got 1 million of them. I'm here all week. Try the fish.
What the frick are you talking about? Moving on. Dear Bits, the game character who would spend longest on the crapper is our good pal Pac-Man. The poor fellow's diet consists 95% hard, yellow, nutty things, 4% big fat pills, so he's constipated beyond history and dripping like a bastard. And okay, so maybe we give him like a piece of fruit 1% of the time, but like a couple of cherries aren't going to loosen anything up. Duh. Love, David Dunkley.
Well done, Dumply. You pooper scoop the prize, a compact and bijou piswan.
Now, if you'd like to enter any of our competitions or would simply like to say hello, then join us at our website at www.forlater.com/bits.
But right now, Lara Croft is getting on our friend Kirsten's tits.
Which of these games do I have a problem with? Is it Tomb Raider 1, Tomb Raider 2, Tomb Raider 3, Tomb Raider 4? No, it's this one. It's Tomb Raider 5, Tomb Raider Chronicles. And you know why? Because it's half the length of all the other Tomb Raider games. Core, you forgot to make the other half of your game. It's meant to last you like 2 months. This lasts you like 2 weeks. That's just crap. Tomb Raider 2, aha! Tomb Raider 3, aha! Aha! You know, you have to have it there. If you take away Lara's aha, it's like taking away Homer Simpson's don't. It's just, you can't do it.
But after the break, we talk to the culprits behind it all, Core Design.
And Emily gets jiggy with Project Eden.
Hello and welcome back to Earth.
Jesus H. Christ!
In part 2, Booth sleeps around with unsung classic Pyjamarama.
Emily digs up the dirt on Project Eden.
But first, Alex hangs out with Adrian Smith from Core Design to see what the hell is going on with Lara Croft.
If this is chapter 1,
Yep.
and it's a beast, this is
Yep.
a quarter of chapter 1. What are the things you're going to start exploring with the already really well-known character Lara?
Okay, I think that for us, the first chapter and the first game is going to be like standing in a room and opening lots of doors and actually not knowing where all those doors go to. It certainly is not going to be any smaller than the Tomb Raider experiences we've bought in the past. People, on average, seem to take 70 to 80 hours to play those. So I think it will be that and then some. These are obviously very early design sketches. You know, we've gone back onto paper to working out how the characters look, to adopt a sort of a style and a look and a feel. It's going to be more mature.
Well, she certainly, her appearance has changed.
Appearance has changed.
She's
Yeah.
lost the swelling that seemed to occur before.
I think
in the
there's
chest area.
a lot of refinement to the model.
Can you give away anything about the plot? Because I've got it right here. I could probably give away loads.
The plot is that ultimately Lara is actually put into a situation which is very, very alien to her. Her character's not changed, but she's thrown into a situation where in actual fact she becomes very much a wanted person, and she has to go into places she normally wouldn't go. She has to go sort of deep underground. She has to mix with a different society and a different group of people.
Does this mean that the whole gameplay style is going to change?
The Lara that I play will be maybe look the same as the Lara that you play, but however, my Lara may be different. Not insofar as, congratulations, you've gone up another level, but, suddenly Lara may be able to sprint for me a little bit further because I do choose to sprint everywhere, whereas you take your time a little bit and walk, so that means that maybe I can get through that door that you can't get through. We wanted to take it to the next level. We want people to actually feel that they're in these environments, that you know, how they've been playing the game actually affects how Lara's doing in the game, and, you know, how you're going to do in future.
How long do you think that going through something like this times 4 is going to take the player?
It's the golden question. I mean, at the moment, you know, we're putting the elements together. There's a lot more story, there's a lot more character interaction, there's multiple characters that you can play, there's lots of different avenues and different ways that you can go, there's lots more to find, lots more to explore. And I want to actually be there, I want to feel I'm involved, I'm in that environment. And I think, you know, I think consumers will come back to playing games where you're there and you feel like you're there.
Cool. Thank you very much, Adrian.
Okay.
We'll see how it pans out, won't we? Here's Emily Dunn with the lowdown on Project Eden.
As Yaz sang in the 80s, the only way is up. And this is the way the people of the future have decided to resolve their living space problems, by building a megacity one-star metropolis ever skywards. While the rich enjoy the sun and fresh air at the top, the people down below have to suffer ever-deteriorating conditions. Oops. Project Eden puts you in charge of 4 elite urban protection agents. They've been called in to investigate the mysterious disappearance of technicians sent to repair mass computer malfunctions in the dilapidated and dangerous lower levels. All the characters share an energy pool, meaning they can transfer strength to each other if one is running low. There's also a team inventory, sharing the weapons and resources, and you can expect to find some cool items like the spy cam and Rover the tank, both of which can be used from a first-person perspective. Ideal for the schizophrenic in all of us, Project Eden is mostly about puzzles and using your noggin 4 ways. Best results demand team play. And thanks to regeneration points dotted throughout the 11 levels, players of all abilities can now play together instead of having to constantly reload every time one of you dies. You can play the whole game through as a team, or choose to tactically leave team members behind to guard a certain point, or perhaps keep their fingers on a switch. When a teammate hasn't been ordered to follow, they simply stay where you left them and guard that area, responding independently to enemy fire, so you don't have to keep finding players who've wandered off or are just taking hits like a sitting duck. Obviously, Core have really thought through the cooperative mode. Like its Tomb Raider sister, the emphasis rests as much on the puzzling as on the action. If the third-person view puts you off with its Levi's engineering-style waist-twisting, you can always change to first-person view for that FPS feel as you take on your mates in deathmatch mode. Multiplayer over the internet has also been promised, so you can expect some Phantasy Star Online style gameplay as well. All in all, it looks like Core are onto a corker here, and you can expect Project Eden to come out in September for PC and PlayStation 2. Now we're going to tell you what you can buy this weekend off the shop shelf.
Wrestling is just an exciting and theatrical form of entertainment. No one really gets hurt.
Your favorite yellow people are falling out big time. Are the Simpsons a case for the social services? Actually, no, because they've formalized their domestic dysfunctionality into a wrestling game. Simpsons Wrestling. Ooh, what a lucrative idea. Out now.
Not quite as good as Age of Empires, not even close to total annihilation. Grab a copy of Cossacks European Wars for your PC and prepare to learn more about the Ukraine, Poland, Russia, Britain and the Netherlands than you ever cared to. All cleverly disguised as a game. Amazing.
If you're a bit of an insomniac and like wandering around for hours and Nomad Soul was good for you, then Summoner might just bring you off too. Pack your knapsack and head off down that mountain path. And don't come back, you dull, sad, loser RPG player. Summoner is out for your PlayStation 2s now.
It's time again to aim the comical pistol at the cartoon screen courtesy of your PlayStation. Yes, it's the end-all, be-all of shooting gallery sims. Point Blank is here in its 3rd incarnation. Draw, aim, and pop faster than a strung-out junkie. It was out last week, and if you're lucky, you'll find a straggler on the shop shelves now.
War! Ha! What is it good for? selling a good game, that's what? Throw some Tom Baker into the mix and you've got yourself a classic. One for strategists who like to take a step back from world domination, and another for shooter fans who like to get their fingers in the meaty pies of death. But take a life jacket, because these are hostile waters. And now, Boof goes way back with the Spectrum and Pyjamarama.
I remember that.
I'm an old-fashioned kind of girl at heart, and yeah, I guess I'm excited about all the newfangled perfect pixels and super set-top boxes that'll be compatible with your kettle and yada yada yada. But in this climate of blink and you'll miss it technological change, let me gently take your hand and guide you back to more innocent days to sing the praises of the lovable ZX Spectrum and the most unlikely hero ever seen in a video game. His name is Wally Weak. It all started in 1984 with Automania, where you basically had to help Wally build a series of cars. But it is Pyjamarama, the second game in the series, that truly brings back a wave of tingly nostalgia. Wally is stuck in a perpetual nightmare where his house has come alive to tease and taunt him, and everyday objects become terrifying hazards. Playing Wally's pint-sized alter ego, you've got to get your alarm clock ringing to wake yourself up from the bad dream. Sounds logical enough, but then books fly at you from the library, giant chickens chase you around the kitchen, and disembodied hands grab at your feet. Nothing is ever simple when your name's Wally. The fluorescent acidic coloured world of Pyjamarama is one of the most addictive games ever, and was one of the first to introduce the logical puzzle. But going back to play it now is a real wake-up call. It's easy to forget how skill-based those old arcade platformers were. One of the coolest things about Pyjamarama is the way it salutes the arcade game in general. Go into the game's room and you suddenly find yourself engaged in a household version of Space Invaders, except instead of blasting aliens, you're shooting knives and forks at chickens or cacti. Jump into the rocket and you zoom up into the attic to find real Space Invaders. It really is the stuff of childhood dreams. There are 3 more games produced by the fantastically innovative Microgem. Everyone's a Wally introduced the rest of the family and was the first ever multi-role arcade adventure. Herbert's Dummy Run had you playing as the baby lost in a huge, scary supermarket. And finally, the cleverly titled 3 Weeks in Paradise, where Wally Week, his wife and Herbert get lost in the jungle. Paradise is the last and one of the best Wally games. The imaginative graphics, archetypal British humour and just the right amount of hair-yanking frustration makes the Wally games unbeatable and reminds you, with a sniff and a tear, of what gaming used to be.
Competition time, anyone? Competition time.
And this week you can win a PlayStation 2 Quake 3 Revolution bundle!
Excellent.
All you have to do is answer this question.
Swinging, partner swapping, love romps. Throw your car keys into the fruit bowl and say bye-bye to marriage. But computer game characters do whatever they please without any emotional complications or physical risk at all. What we want you to do is to describe the most sensational bed-in from a video game ever. Tell us who's there from the Video Game Hall of Fame, what they get up to, and with whom. Be nasty and you lose, but be funny and you might just win.
Who send your bed-wettingly amusing answers in via our website at www.forlater.com/bits.